Okay, I started recording, so I just said, well, I want to get into recording that. Today is 7th of Adar, 5,782. And since we're talking about comparison to the truth, Dave said, so it's today, February 8th, 2022. It's the second segment because we couldn't fit our conversation in the first segment. And this is our Zoom numbers, 325-804-5811, password 285-775. And like I asked last time, how do people know that I can read what's on the screen?
Because it's written on the other side of your paper.
This is a Yiddish code. This is Yiddish code. How do you know that I did it? Because on the outside I also wrote it. Okay.
Ayind and ayind.
So we're back in action, guys. Okay, Menachem Mendy, you were in the middle of saying something. You requested for we'll call it a main course with it, and then a dessert. So we're in the dessert segment now. So Menachem Mendy will kick that one off. Go ahead.
But you just asked the question before about how is Judaism, how it compares to other religions or other ways of life, I guess. And I don't know if that's a question you want to keep for next week and discuss other things now, or we can just jump right in.
How come all these religions are so different and very often antagonistic? Not just Judaism. Forget Judaism. Look at the Islam and the Hindus. I mean, what is their problem? All over there. They eat the same food even.
I think, Adrian, I meant to respond, but I think because people don't respect, look at us. I'm sure we have variety of political, religious positions, and we have a great time respect each other. When there's respect, everything works fine. Go ahead, Menachem.
Well, I could say I do have somewhat of a limited understanding of these religions. Like I don't understand, like I understand Judaism, but there are some things I think that are pretty public knowledge and very, I guess, simple to understand. It seems to me that the point in, if we start with Christianity, is that everyone should just simply believe in you know who, and they will be saved, and everything, and ultimately the Messiah is going to come and save humanity, and all you need to do is just believe, and everything will be fine. If you look to Islam, I can't say, maybe David knows better than me, but I don't know what the goal of Islam. It could be just believe in the Prophet and everything's going to be fine. But I think when it starts to get interesting is when it comes to like Buddhism or Hinduism, where they have things like the whole purpose in life is ultimately to get to these high states of mind or being, like the nirvana or moksha, whatever you call it, to get like to these states of mind. And what people tend to do is ultimately they know to get to this state of mind, you have to distance yourself from humanity and go up to the mountains in the middle of nowhere, or you have to give huge sacrifices from yourself, or give up time, or meditate, or do all these kind of things for your own personal needs, that you should get to a certain state of being. And then you have like shamanism and paganism, which are just straight out, they'll tell you it's all about gaining powers for yourself to control nature and be able to gain, respect or things that you need. Judaism is very, very different and unique to all of these, and that the kind of the vision of Judaism is where you even start. It's not for the selfish. It's not for selfish needs. Judaism doesn't really care about your feelings. What do you say? Facts don't care about feelings. Judaism doesn't really care about feelings either. Within Judaism, feelings are more a tool that can be used to help motivate or leverage someone to achieve certain things, but it's not the goal at all. It's about it's the world of action, and it's ultimately about actions to take place. And the purpose is in order to actually change this whole world, every being within it, to be for the better, to be for the good, to work on ourselves, to become better people. Because when we become better people, we affect our surroundings, and then our surroundings become better. And it's ultimately to show God's presence within this whole world, how everyone can live together and work together, and everyone is important and everything is important and everything has its place, and no one thing or one person is better than someone else. Everyone has their own place, including a leader. A leader has their responsibilities, what they're responsible for, and it doesn't mean they're better or worse. So I think in that sense, it's very, very different. It's not about self, it's about the whole picture and being part of the whole big picture.
Well, I think that's the point of view of a rather free-thinking Orthodox person, because I don't see that kind of ecumenical attitude amongst other deeply religious people. And I don't know that Judaism is better than any of these other religions, because clearly many people were dissatisfied with Judaism, maybe because of the wickedness of the high priests and of the, the Pharisees and whatever, but they left and they started a new religion. Similarly, people were not happy just following Muhammad, because then through the descendants, there's another big split. And if you look at Christianity, they weren't happy with Catholicism and they split, and there's Protestants. So there's unhappiness with the status quo. And the same is true of Judaism. The Reform movement was unhappy with the Orthodox. The conservatives were unhappy with the Orthodox, and the Reform were unhappy in America with the conservatives. So, no one of them is better than. I happen to love being part of Judaism, but I don't think it's necessarily better, except for I take the exception with Islam, which I think is decidedly worse. But otherwise, I'm pretty ecumenical.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will start with Judaism. In Judaism, we say Hamekadesh Shemo Barabim, who makes his name holy within. How should I put it in English?
To the masses.
Right. Okay. To the masses, with the public, with the masses.
With the masses.
With the masses. Hamekadesh Shemo Barabim. So, what does it mean? It means that God in Judaism is the God of a group, and there is actually I think it's quite a small kind of dispute. What does it mean? Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha. You probably know this phrase, right? So ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, love thy friend like you love yourself. So does that mean that someone who is not your friend you can hate? That's a very important question. I think that for me ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha means that I should feel love for a fellow Jew. It doesn't include the goyim. I can hate the goyim as just the way Hitler hated us.
Why would you hate the goyim?
No, I'm not saying I hate, but I am allowed to hate.
You're allowed to. That's what I said. Why would you?
That's a different question. If they give me a reason, okay? You give me a reason and I will hate you. But the Torah says, Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha. Re'echa could be, for me, one of two things. Either a friend or a fellow Jew. I think it means a fellow Jew, a fellow Israelite. The actual sentence, the actual phrase in the Torah is not Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha. It's Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, ani Adonai. This is a mitzvah for the Jews. Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha doesn't exist. There's only Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, ani Adonai. So why am I starting with this? Because Judaism is a religion for a people. It's a specific religion for a specific people with one purpose. Shalach et ami vayavduni bamidbar. Let my people go to worship me in the desert. The Israelites are being freed from actual slavery to people to be slaves to God. There is not even one time in the Torah when it just says, Shalach et ami. It's always, Shalach et ami vaya'avduni bamidbar. Let my people go to worship me in the desert. That's what it always says, to worship me. Now, when it comes, so the purpose of Judaism is to worship God with learning the Torah, ve'ahavta b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha, which means in your soul, in your mind, and by fulfilling the commandments. This is why they are commandments. It's not a recommendation. The Shabbat is not a recommendation. The Shabbat is a mitzvah that if you don't follow this mitzvah, it's a death penalty. It's not, you know, God recommends that you rest on the seventh day. No, if you don't rest on the seventh day, it's mitat beit din. It's a death penalty. It's a commandments religion. If you follow these commandments, you acknowledge the rule of God in the world. And it's given to a specific people, a specific group of people to do that. This is the very, very basics of religion, not just for Jews, but also for other people. Now, in Christianity, Mendy was totally right. In Christianity, basically what Christianity did is that it eliminated the mitzvot, the commandments, the mitzvot ma'asiyot, the actual things that you don't have to do anything. The only thing you have to do is to believe, to be redeemed, and to be saved. And that goes against Judaism. Christianity is the negativity of Judaism. It's absolutely just the negative side. Like there's a positive picture and the picture's original negative from the film. So there's no mitzvot in Christianity. And then what they did, not just to eliminate mitzvot, they have turned God into a human figure, which is, they basically took Judaism back into paganism, because that's paganism. I consider Christianity to be completely pagan religion. It has nothing to do with a real religion. It's a pagan religion. They have Protestants had a problem with it. That's true. Some Protestant churches, they don't have any pictures. They don't have any statues of the Christ, and definitely the statues of the Madonna, right? The Mary and all of that. They have nothing. They just have a cross and they pray. Okay. But the thing that the Roman Catholic Church, Roman Catholic Christianity did is it took Judaism and turned it into a form of a pagan religion based on old Roman rites. So they basically completely took it away. It's not Judaism anymore. It just uses it's a very strange mixture of using the Jewish Bible to perform some kind of an ancient Roman belief, because the Romans they worship their emperors, their Caesars. They had statues of their Caesars in their temples, alongside the statues of the gods, of Zeus and all of that with their Roman names. Now Islam is well, I will only speak in philosophical and theological terms. Islam is a version of Judaism. Most people don't like me saying that, but that's what it is. It sounds maybe a little bit off to some people, but it's a version of Judaism. Not in this. It's completely different, but it has the basic thing is that it makes God, it distinguishes God, makes him unique. Yichud, right? The Yichud, Yachid u'Meyuchad, Yichud Hashem. So it makes God unique and the only God. It brings back unity. Islam was actually a reaction to Christianity. I don't want to go through the actual history of Islam, but the traditional story of how Islam was created, that Muhammad sat in a cave and the angel Gabriel suddenly appeared to him and started giving him the
You have
word
1
of
minute.
God, the word of God.
1 minute. Okay.
I have a meeting in a minute, so I've got to jump off.
Well,
Okay.
okay. Let's very good. So we covered somewhat. So next time we should continue from there.
Yes,
Is it been 20 minutes now?
absolutely.
Time
I think we
flies.
should continue because I think David is a very one-sided view of everything, and we must continue. I'm no great fan of Christianity,
But
to
we
say
only
that
have a
it's
minute,
Rome-
Edwin. We only have a minute now. We have to.
I know. So yeah, let's talk next time.
Okay.
It's very good, guys. Have a
Erev
good
Tov.
week. Shabbat Tov and Shabbat Shalom next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. This is our coordinates. Where to write them down for Zoom.
So I
I've
owe
got it, I've got
Adrian.
it.
I owe Adrian the answer for the difference between Sunni and Shiite Islam and why do they kill each other.
And by the way,
Yeah,
Menachem, before you take off, Adrian, Menachem Mendel said he would like to talk to you sometimes, just directly, just call. But you have each other's phone numbers on the WhatsApp, so you can call each other anytime you want. David, that applies to you.
Absolutely.
You can call anybody
Absolutely.
you.
I'm very happy to do that. Yeah.
So
Sure. Okay. We'll be in touch. We'll figure out a time that
Shabbat
works.
Tov and Shabbat Shalom, gentlemen. Okay.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.